Hello, and welcome to ODriscollTech. Today we're going to be talking about iMessage. Now, I bet your very first question is, what is iMessage? And that is a very good place to start today. iMessage is a system of transmitting messages similar to what we call texting. Now, what we normally refer to as texting is between one cell phone with an active paid cell phone plan to another cell phone with an active paid cell phone plan. And therefore, both cell phones have a phone number assigned to them. What iMessage is Apple's own system of transmitting messages from one Apple device to another Apple device and back and forth. Now that means that an iPhone can send a message via iMessage to another iPhone. It also means an iPhone can send a message to an iPad. It also means an iPhone can send a message to a computer. It means a computer can send a message to another computer. A computer can send a message to an iPad. An iPad can send a message to another iPad. An iPad can send a message to a computer. And the messages can go between all the different devices that Apple makes, which is awesome. All that is required is that the Apple device have an active internet connection of some sort, whether that is, in the case of certain iPads and iPhones, a cellular data connection to the internet, or a Wi-Fi connection to the internet, and an Apple ID that is signed in on the device. And so, say that an iPhone were wanting to send a message to a computer that does not have a phone number assigned to it. The iPhone has a phone number assigned to it because it has an active paid cellular account. It sends a message via the iMessage system. And so what you do is in the to or the recipient field, normally if you're sending just a regular text message, you would put a phone number in there. Like, let's say the phone number 507-444-4444. And then you would send the message. In the case of the iMessage system, you could do that if both devices have a phone number assigned to them, say 2 iPhones or 1 iPhone and a cellular-based iPad. Or what you can do is if, say, that you're wanting to send a message from a cellular-based iPhone to an iPad that only has Wi-Fi capabilities, or an iPhone that does not have an active cellular plan, so is only using Wi-Fi, what you would do is you would have the phone, which has the phone number 507-444-4444, for example, and then in the to or recipient field from that iPhone, you would put in the email address of the Apple ID that the recipient device is signed into. So again, let's say that we're sending this between 2 iPhones. One iPhone has a cellular data plan and therefore a phone number assigned to it. And the second iPhone is, let's say, for a child and it does not have a paid cellular account with it right now. It is only using Wi-Fi. And so you created a child Apple ID on there, which then is an email address used to sign into Apple services. And let's call that email address John Smith's email. And his email address, for example, would be johnsmith@email.com. Then in the to field, you would type in johnsmith@email.com in the same spot where you would type in a phone number like 507-444-4444. But in this case, because there's no phone number assigned to the second phone, like I said, all you do is you put in the email address. So johnsmith@email.com. And because Apple owns and operates this system of transmitting messages, Apple allows you to use an email address as the recipient address instead of a phone number. It's that easy. And so then when you send the message, the person who has that email address will receive it. It's really cool, really simple, and that easy, and completely free. The only cost, of course, is actually having an Apple device, so purchasing the Apple device to begin with there. And so what how you can tell the difference between if you are having a conversation on your iPhone with someone who has an Apple device and therefore you're using the iMessage system, or whether you are sending text messages over the text message system with each other's cell phone carriers, is actually due to color coded chat bubbles. That when you are having your chat, if you see green chat bubbles, you are using the text messaging system to send the conversations back and forth. If you see a blue bubble, that means you are using Apple's iMessage system. Now, in very rare circumstances, there are times where you're sending a message from your iPhone to somebody else's iPhone. Both of you are signed in with your Apple IDs on the devices, but you both see green bubbles. And that is because one or both of your devices has poor internet connectivity at the time and is not talking to Apple servers and saying, yes, I'm connected to the iMessage system right now. Just like when you are going to send a text message to someone that you type in the to field, you type in their phone number, for example, 507-444-4444. In the case of sending a message via iMessage, you just type in the email address associated with their Apple ID. It really isn't that complicated. Again, for example, an email address would be something like johnsmith@email.com. Or to use some more realistic examples, maybe it's johnsmith016@gmail.com, or johnsmith@icloud.com, or johnsmith025@outlook.com, that sort of thing is what you would send it to. And then it wouldn't go to their email inbox. The message would actually go to the Messages app on their Apple device. And then they can reply back to you that way. Or, if it's easier for you, some of you may not want to put a new person's address, whether that's an email address or a phone number, directly into a new conversation. You'd want to go into your Contacts app and create them as a contact first of all. You can do that, and you can enter only an email address in the Contacts app for that person with no phone number. And then when you pull up the Messages app, you can start typing their name. So because you already created a contact for John Smith, when you're wanting to send him an iMessage, you can pull open the Messages app, press the new compose button, and then start typing in JOHN and then a space and SM because you want to narrow it down to John Smith. And then it should autofill the rest for you for John Smith because you only have one contact named John Smith, presumably. And then you'll be able to send the message to him just like you would a regular text message. Again, that easy. iMessage versus text messaging. One is Apple's system. The other is the system that goes over the cellular provider's network. I hope that this has helped you understand the difference between text messaging and Apple's iMessage system. It has been my pleasure to be of assistance to you today. I'm glad you took the time to watch and enjoy this video. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Do not hesitate to leave comments below, including any suggestions you may have for future videos. Also, any questions that you may have about iMessage that weren't resolved via this video that I could definitely either answer in the comments, or I can create a whole other video for you to be able to answer those questions as well. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.